From Sham Sharania, Kings guard Malik Monk is feared to have suffered a sprained MCL in his right knee. Will undergo further testing, according to The Athletic. So he's going to miss some time. Before the pod, I was doing some basic homework on previous stuff. I found an old NBA Reddit thread from a few years back going over some guys who had grade 1 tears. So at this point, you hope it's a grade 1 sprained MCL.
Okay.
Steph did that, missed 15 days. Jeff Teague, 14 days. Kyle Anderson missed 17 days. So could be a couple of weeks, whatever.
Okay.
Grade 2, this is where it gets bad. Dellavedova missed 34 days. Zebo was an outlier, 75 days.
Jesus.
Gobert, 38. Who could forget Nene? 45 days. Marcus Gasol missed 53 days. This is an old thread, as you could tell.
Yeah.
The point is, it's not good. And then I found a tweet from a couple of years ago from an injury guy on Twitter, Jeff Stotts, who does some great work. When Kevin Durant went down, recovery rates for MCL sprains depend on the severity of the sprain. The average lost time for confirmed grade 1 sprains is the NBA sprains in the NBA is about 17 days, which about 8.5 games. Well, the Kings played 9 more games. Grade 2 sprains result in an average of about 41 days lost, 21 games.
I don't feel well.
And so now the Kings have to march forward without him. Trey Lyles looks like he's inching closer to a return, but he's not back yet. Sasha, it seemed like he was coming back a week and a half ago. He's been questionable almost every game since then. He's still not back yet.
Yeah.
So this is kind of it. And Kevin Huerter, we find out today, he's going to have season-ending surgery on that shoulder. So he's done for the year.
Oh, my God.
This is a major blow to this group, but now you got to figure out a way to compete. And I know tonight sucks. You lose at home.
Sucks.
You're bad at home again for a good team. You're like, how are you better on the road than at home for the second consecutive year? Some of the same problems you had last year are the same problems you're having this year. And now you're faced with the prospect of the play-in. Now, it doesn't mean you can't win. You could still get a first-round series, but I think...
But the teams you're going up against, the experience that they have in such big games, it's like...
Here's my sell to people tonight. You can call me...
a salesman?
I'm not an optimist. I'm not an optimist, okay?
So what
I'm
are
just
you
looking
tonight?
at it. Look at all the teams 7 through 11 right now. The Rockets are on fire. They've been killing it, right? They won again tonight against Utah, right?
Yeah, and really quick, can I just describe what you look like? You look like a salesman that's like losing it all, so you're desperate and trying to sell me something right now.
A penny stock? I'm telling you, if it hits, it hits. Hey,
sell me.
We've
Deuce.
got diamond hands. We're going to the moon. You can't sell now. We're all in.
Oh my God. I hate my life.
So, hear me out.
Yeah, no, I'm listening.
The Suns lost to the Spurs the other night without Victor.
Yeah,
then they go play the Denver Nuggets on the road and win. And everyone's like, the Suns are back. What happened tonight? They go to Oklahoma City without SGA, and they get clapped, okay? My point to that is they're just as inconsistent.
Sure.
They have bad losses too. The Golden State Warriors, are you kidding me? Like, I know they're won a few in a row. They're still a weird team. They're still up and down. They still have their problems.
Okay.
The Lakers still have some problems. They've been playing some better basketball too. They lost tonight. They got smacked around against AD and LeBron played in Indiana. They got clapped tonight.
Hey, salesman. Can I just, I'm going to challenge you on a few things. I know you're trying to sell me this, but
I'm not selling. I'm being serious.
Let me just tell you. And because I understand the inconsistency when we do talk about these teams and everything. The biggest difference, in my opinion, is when you look at the names on these squads, just hear me out, of Katie and Book.
Yep.
I'm not even throwing in Beal. Just Katie, Book, AD, LeBron, Steph, Clay, Draymond, however the hell you want to go with that. You look at these names and you look at the experience and the experience of big games and big moments and how they have executed and how they have learned over the years on how to handle these moments in these types of games. And I look at the Kings and it felt, if this was last year, I think I would have I would be more optimistic going into a game like this because I would be like, hey, they're vibing. Things are feeling. This year, you're seeing health take over at the end of the season.
Right.
You're seeing Sabonis this week against a matchup against the Mavs not play well. Is there another matchup within those three that like you're a little scared for him, or are you a little scared for De'Aaron Fox? Because if they do not have their biggest games, then you're not going to be okay. Where some of these other teams, it feels like they would have enough to get by.
I think the biggest thing at this, and I hear you, like this start, I've said this for months as we've watched this Kings season. We're just like, what is happening? It's been so up and down. I've been greatly concerned about the play-in.
Yeah.
You get into one game against LeBron, they could have 45, 50 free throws and you lose. And it's LeBron AD. I don't think anybody, any Kings fan, after what happened Game 7 in Sacramento last year when Steph dropped 50 on your heads, I don't think anyone's eager to sign up to play the Warriors.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's eager to sign up to play KD and Booker.
Yeah.
I'm just saying these teams are flawed too. I think the biggest thing right now,
It's crazy.
if Malik's injury is a grade 2, it's a wrap. You're probably losing to the play-in, and it's
wow.
he's too important, Morgan. It's just they don't have enough firepower. Fox and Sabonis have been consistent this year, right, for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Malik Monk's been that other guy.
Yeah.
After that, it's a mixed bag. Maybe it's Keegan for a couple of weeks. Can Kevin Huerter here? Oh, Trey gives you a little something here. It's not consistent enough. And now you miss the playoffs. You get your draft pick, but then you can't trade your 25 or your 26 pick because you still haven't conveyed what you owe the Atlanta Hawks for the Huerter trade. That's a nightmare scenario, in my opinion.
Okay.
And in addition to that, some of your guys that may have had higher values last year, their values aren't as high.
Correct.
So you're going through a challenging offseason where you have to make moves if you want to maximize the prime of Fox and Sabonis. You have to add to this team. They went 2 trade deadlines without doing anything of impact. And so now they're in a situation where the team, not as good this year, right? Some areas, there's some things that are better.
Yeah.
The defense has been better this year than last year. The shooting's not. Their shooting numbers have dipped, right? Guys who were shooting 40% from 3 last year, Keegan, Kevin Huerter, not doing that this year. So it's tough, but you got to figure it out. And this is why I circle back to what I said at the very beginning of this podcast tonight. This is why you appreciate every moment of the journey. The good times, the bad times, whatever, but soak in the wins. You never know when it switches. A year ago tonight, we were emotional. We were feeling it. We're sipping champagne, and then we went to Gold One Center to celebrate the Kings making the playoffs. And 1 year to the day, this is where we're at. And so there we go.